Now the last thing we will talk about in this session is the physical or the static files. As I explained before, we have something called wwwroot, which is the root in the application for the static files. Static files like CSS files, images, videos, any type of static files. Now we need to understand how we can deal with this folder, and also how we can, for example, upload an image or PDF or any type of files to this www.root. Let's say that we need to upload the student image or the student photo. When we create a new student here, we need also to add the student photo. What we will do? First of all, we will go to the student model and we will add a new property. The property will be public string student photo get and set, or for example student photo path or student photo name, whatever the property name, because we are not saving the file itself in the database. We will save in the database the name of the student photo, and we will see how we can deal with this. Now we have a new property called student photo. What we will do, we will go to the package manager console and we will say add migration like photo. Okay, done. Here we can see that student photo name as mvarchar of max has been added to the students table. Now we need to send these changes to the database by saying update database. Done. Now we can go to here and we can open our database, for example, and we can see that the teachers or the students, select top 1000. See, we have a new property here called student photo name. Now we will close this and we will close this as well. We need to add some parameters to this create action method. What are these parameters? It's actually one parameter, which is the file which we are going to receive here, like the student picture or the student CV or whatever the file. The file here should be from type I form file, and we can give it just a name like form file. By this way, we are saying that the create action method will receive an object of type student, and also it will receive a file, one file. If we have list of files, we can simply say list of I like this. But now we have only one file. What we can do with this file, let's see, like form file dot, we can say for example the file name, we can read the headers, the length, and we can read the file, the stream, and etc. Now suppose we have received this file. What we will do now, we need to save this file into a physical location, and in our case we need to save it inside this folder. I will create a new folder here and I will call it like images. So I need to save the student photos inside this folder images. What I will do, I need to have an access. First of all, I need to know the path of this www.root. How I can do that? I need to use something called iHost environment. So I will create private read only iHosting environment. Yes, we should use Microsoft ASP.NET Core hosting. and we will just give it like a name, environment with underscore, and also we should pass this like as a parameter here. So now we will remove the underscore, and rather than keep scrolling right and left, we can make our code readable. So we can just click enter like this, and here we need to set now our global variable environment to be equal to the environment. And now we can go here and we can say now we need to define the path of the www.root or the path of the images folder. How we can do that? We can have like dynamic variable called, for example, root path equal to my environment here, our environment dot something with root path. This will give us access to the www.root. So how we can also go to the images? We can simply add plus. This is the way how we can do a string combination. We can say slash plus images, the name of the folder, then slash as well or backslash, and that's it. So this is our path, www.root and then images folder. Now as we receive the file, we should have a full path like this one plus the file name. So finally we need to create a file, and the file is not a folder, should be a physical file inside this folder. So we need to define like string full path, let's call it full path, will be equal to root path plus, or sorry, we will do something called combination. It is like input output, or we can say system dot input output dot path dot combine two values. Now we should pass the root, sorry, not here, the root, and also we should pass the file name from here, dot file name. So by this way we are saying that our full path will be like www.root images file name. This is the full path of the file which we are going to save. Now how we can do the save? We can say like var stream equal new file stream, and then okay, the file stream is not defined, yes, using system.io. so here we can remove this because we already said here we need to use the system.io. so path.combine, and then here we are saying stream, sorry, here is a stream, then stream we will give it like the full path, and we will decide what we are going to do. File mode dot, we need to open the file, we need to create a new file. What we are going to do for now, we are going to create a new file, and then now what we can say that we can take this file, form file or whatever its name, for file dot copy to, we can use this method in order to copy the received file into a my stream which we already defined here. So once we copied this stream or this file into this stream, this file will be created using this statement. And here, since we are dealing with the files and we are creating and we are using the memory, so it's better to use something called using statement. Using a statement, I will tell you what the purpose of this, but let's create now the using statement. It's like this, and then we will open and close the curly brackets, and inside this we will say do the copy. Now, using keyword, what we are saying here, please create the file from this stream, and after this query or this statement executed and done, there will be something called releasing the resources. Like if the system reserved some memory, so there will be a releasing after finishing this statement. This is what's called garbage collection. The garbage collection is to release the resources. If we reserved some space in the memory and now we are not using this space in the memory, so there will be a release for this space in the memory in order to make the performance good. So this is the using of the garbage collection. The garbage collection, like it's called GC, the garbage collection. And after the using statement is done, there will be an automatic calling for the garbage collection, which is responsible to release the resources, which already has been reserved by this creating file or by copying the file into the stream. So this is good to use in order to keep the performance good in your application. Now we need to go to the view, create a view, and we need to add the design here. We need to add an input file. We will take the row to keep the design as is, and we will change the names. Like here we will say student photo, for instance, and I will remove this input and I will add a new input like input, and its type will be equal to file, and there should be a name value. Close this one. The name value here should be as the parameter here, form file, in order to be passed with the form, with our form, this one. So we have now an input file and we will send it to the form file, but we need to do a small change here to our form in order to allow uploading or sending files with the form. What we should do, we should add a new property called ink type and should be equal to multipart form data. So by this way we are saying that okay, if there is a files inside my form, please send them to the create action method. Now let's browse it and see if our code working fine or not. Now we will go to the students controller. And now what we are going to do, we are going to create a new student, and here is our changes. See, we can create now a new student and we can upload a file. Let's add like Mustafa and 33, and let's add Amman, and we need to choose a picture here. For instance, let's take any picture, like for example this one, and say submit. Okay, we forget to add breakpoint, but it seems that it's working fine. Let's check if we have inside. Yeah, see, our image is here. So the process of uploading file is now working fine with no issues. But there is a small note here. Now, if we want to add the same picture again, what will happen? Two files or two pictures will be here with the same name. So one of them either will be removed or renamed. So what we will do in this case, in such cases, we need these pictures, which is related to the students, to be unique. So I don't want to upload two images with the same name. And this case might happen because I can upload now a picture for me and its name like my picture.jpg. And another student can upload also, and the image name, by chance, the image name is my picture.jpg. So what will happen in this case? We will do something extra here, and we will create something called GeoID. The GeoID is commonly used, and we use the GeoID when we want to create a value randomly, random value at runtime, and we need to use this as a unique value. We will say GeoID Why it's not defined? Yeah, system, using system. Okay, GUID, I will give it a name like for example random value equal GUID dot new GUID. By this way, I can generate a random value of type GUID, and this value will be unique. So the system will not generate two random values with the same value. And how we can use this? We can simply say that this random value, please add it to the file name. So I will say Ctrl V plus like put a dash and plus like this. So now the file name becomes like this. Rather than saving the file name, we are saying that okay, keep the file name but add to the file name another string value which is of type GUID, unique value. Now this is the use of GUID, and this is how we can generate a new GUID. Now we forget here to do something. If we click on the Go definition for the model, student model, we here added a new feature, student photo name. But we forget to update this property inside the student. How we can do that? We can simply say after saving the photo, what I will do, std, which is my student here, dot the photo name equal to this value. In order to map the image which we are going to save with this student which we are going to create. So we will say this, and this value will be inserted to the database, and it will be mapped with this student and this image name. Let's see now, and also before browsing, let's go to the index view and see how we can browse this image. Teacher index in the student. Here we are saying that we can add more columns like th, and I will give it a name like image, and here also I can add the image like inside the new td, and inside this td I will say img, which is HTML tag, and we should give it src property, which is the source of the image. Now we know where we are saving our images, like inside the www.root and then inside the images folder. So what I will say, slash images, then I can say that from the student object here at student dot photo, student photo name, which we already saved in the database. So by this way we can browse the image which we already stored here, and we save it its value. We save the value of this image or the name of this image which is related to the student inside the database. And here we can say that I need the width of this image to be, for example, 50, and also I can say I need the height to be also like 50. Now let's browse it and see what is the result. Now let's go to the students. We don't have students, we need to create a new student, and like John 10 Amman, and I will upload a new picture, or I will use the same one, this one, and I will click submit. Now see the image loaded here correctly. So this is how we can load images or browse images in the browser. And this is how we can deal with the www.root folder, and how we can upload files into this folder using this way.